Other interesting cultural news, you have a preacher threatened at gunpoint by a trans individual for preaching in the streets. More from the tolerant left. Now, this comes with thanks to Libs at TikTok, in which she says, quote, "Holy shit, trans person pulls a gun on a street preacher for saying that God made men to be men and women to be women." Which, I mean, in a real just world, this individual will have been arrested, but, you know, odds are, no, they won't. Now, this is only 38 seconds long, but without too much further ado.
Harder, but you need to try less being like somebody you're not and start to humble yourself and be somebody that God made you to be.
I'm actually not squinting at or disapproving with my visual face. I'm not disapproving his message, but you have a preacher wearing a jacket? You're not suiting up? Come on, preacher. You don't have the cool collar? How are you? I mean, he does have the sunglasses on the back of his head. Come on now. You're preaching? I don't know. At least suit up. That's just me, though.
He didn't make a man to be a woman. He made the man to be a man. He didn't make the woman to be a man. He made the woman to be a woman. And this is the truth. What are you going to do? Come attack me now?
Oh, there you go. Obvious man dressed up as a woman. And that's a crime. They should be arrested. You know why? I mean, not only is there zero... I mean, left is ironic that leftists want to ban guns. Well, they want the government to have guns. But they always cry about, gun safety. Oh, yeah. Which side shows the most gun safety and intelligence? It's not leftist. This individual pulled out a gun and pointed at him, which, yeah, that's a crime. In nearly every state in the United States, the classification of use of deadly force, again, not a lawyer, though I do own a suit, but use of deadly force is classified, if you just point a gun at someone, that is a threat, and that is use of deadly force by definition. Even more abhorrent from a safety perspective is an individual, this deranged madman, has his finger on the trigger, which, again, if you know, well, they should teach us in public schools, but public schools aren't good for much. If you know one of the major 4 rules of gun safety, there's not that many, there's just 4. Do not put your finger on the trigger until you are ready to fire. That is something you're taught day 1 in Boy Scouts, back when the Boy Scouts were named the Boy Scouts and actually taught things. But nevertheless, yeah, you're pointing at someone, which, yep, that's a crime. And again, the preacher, you might not agree with what he's saying, but he's certainly not harming you in any way or threatening you in any way. Again, if it's a stand your ground state or a state that has a stand your ground policy, well, if someone was pointing, they have a knife and they're coming at you, then you're allowed to, unholster your weapon and point at them. But yeah, not in this case. This guy's literally just preaching on a microphone, which again, he is a preacher, historically speaking, and A+ marketing, they do usually preach. It's usually what they do. So this person has their finger on the trigger, pointing at the individual, and of course, this definitely isn't a fashion show, but fashion speaking, rudimentary at best. It has those cliche little stupid sleeves that teenagers wear from Hot Topic, which I don't know if that's only supposed to cover up tattoos or something. But yeah, it's not gloves, so your fingers are still going to be cold, but it covers your wrist to your forearm. So in case if that part of your body or appendage gets really cold, it's handy in that case. Then yeah, long, girly hair, and yeah. It's about halfway through, but that's the most damning piece of evidence in terms of the screenshot. Because, and again, I'm definitely a gun enthusiast. I actually can't tell what kind of firearm it is. I'm guessing it's real, but like it's not a standard Glock or a Beretta or I don't even know what the heck it is.
Should. Hey man, that's up to you. If you.
Oh.
I should. Hey man.
Whoa.
I should. Hey man, that's up to you. If you want to pull that on me, well, God bless you. So you just threatened me with a gun. You just pulled a gun on my face. Man, Lord have mercy on you. This means that you don't even know who you are. Nope, I still love you. Even though you pulled a gun on me, I still love you. I still bless you. Harder.
He's a bigger man than most. I mean, the preacher, not the other one. The other one is wearing heels too, which again, you don't want to get in a fight with heels, tactically speaking, not the most intellectually smart thing to do. Kind of at a disadvantage. And this went pretty darn viral. Got 2.4 million views and 52,000 likes. And again, if this was a civilized society or if there was, police around there that did their job, that individual who pulled the gun would be arrested immediately. And also probably a psych evaluation because you're clearly not sane. It is interesting enough, on a 4473, the paperwork to purchase a firearm in the United States, again, every purchase at a dealership, or more accurately, in terms of actual gun store and FFL, they're a federal firearm licensee holder. You have to fill out a 4473. Think of it as a job application to get a gun. There's actually a part that says, "Are you mentally sane?" You have to say yes. And there's another part that says, "Are you male, female, or non-binary?" Which some people would say those questions are kind of the antithesis of another, but, or, kind of, you know what I'm saying? I don't think this person can accurately be said that they're saying if they're pulling a gun on someone who's not threatening you. Now, going to top comments, one of the first ones comes from, I'm a little biased, so it doesn't have the top number of likes, but he's especially handsome and brilliant. It's me, the topping show. I say, quote, if someone on the right did that, they wouldn't be in jail in 20 seconds flat. Pointing a gun at someone in most states is classified as use of deadly force, but I bet this person will not be charged. Gave 1 like, which, again, not the most, but the most handsomest, some might argue. Not many, but some. American Logic says, quote, this is more than just a stereotype. At this point, people have to admit that. Getting 6.3 thousand likes. There was TikTok response saying it's an epidemic, getting 3.2 thousand likes, which, yeah, it is kind of funny. Leftists always say, people on the right are so violent and evil. Yeah, when was the last time someone on the right did anything like this? Yeah, it doesn't happen. If it happened, you hear about 24/7 nonstop in CNN or MSNBC or in the mainstream, or as I like to call it, the lamestream media. Old school Eddie says, quote, that preacher was badass, getting 2.5 thousand likes, which shoot, talk about keeping your composure. Someone points a gun at you, just keep preaching. I mean, he's got balls, so to say. Rob Coates says, quote, Democrats will say words are violence and then turn right around and applaud that man pulling out his gun and getting 1.7 thousand likes. True. That is another bullet point to the DNC. They say that, they also say silence is violence, and they also say words are violence. Pretty much everything is violence that they don't like, in other words, simply put. Tactical Edge says, quote, so much for tolerance, huh? Wild times we're living in, game 557 likes. Yep. Let's see. Cool Christian Engineer says, trans violence is real violence, getting 25 likes. Planet of Memes, a little disappointed, no meme, says, quote, well, you never know what's going to happen, game 15 likes. Andy Skilio says, quote, God made man a man, and the tolerant left is, yeah, that guy pointing a gun at him, which, again, this is driving me crazy. Now there's the morality of the situation and how abhorrent this idiot is, but what kind of pistol is that? It's almost looks like it has to be a revolver. I almost wonder if it's a prop gun. It is such the profile. I mean, it's definitely not a Glock, which again, that's by number of units sold. That's probably has to be the most popular gun in the United States. With, I mean, so many millions of those out there. So it's not a Glock. Maybe Smith & Wesson revolver. Maybe the grip looks like a revolver. The angle makes it look like that. Yeah, let me know in the comments. What kind of firearm is that? What kind of pistol is that? I'm looking at it more and more. It looks like it's gotta be a pistol, or a revolver. And again, I know that's definitely not the most important part of this video or part of the segment, but just being a gun nut, that especially fascinates me. It's not a Chiappa Rhino, is it? No. Maybe a Chiappa? Maybe? Which, in terms of pop culture, I think the only movie that really brought that to fame is really Gerard Butler being a gamer, where that was one of the hero guns, the guns that, the main character used, in addition to the G36. Maybe it's a Chiappa Rhino, which, ADHD, that is a kind of fun pistol to shoot. Actually shoots from the bottom of the cylinder, not the top of the cylinder. The recoil a little bit easier to handle than a traditional revolver. If you ever are at the range, try it out. It's a unique thing. They also got 3,000 likes. Donna Marie has a picture compilation of 6 strange individuals who all committed great acts of evil with mass shootings, and they're all identified as trans, getting 401 likes. Let's see. Zayab Berry says, quote, FBI San Francisco, this mentally unstable trans individual pulled a gun on this man for utilizing his free speech and must be arrested immediately, which, yes, legally speaking, definitely should. And they got some screenshots from the individual. Purple blonde hair. Again, big hair dye is, the whole economy is hurting. The companies that make hair dye and flags are doing great. I don't know where they're located. Usually China, as Trump would say. But, they're doing good. There's more and more options every day. Got 1,000 likes. So, again, if this was San Francisco, the odds of this crime actually being, pursued and prosecuted, it's not 0%. But it's like maybe 0.00027%, give or take. And what is this? Reason number 9 billion not to live in San Francisco. But let me know in the comments, do you think this person will ever actually, be held to any consequence? And do you think, culturally kind of bleeding into politics, will Democrats ever, get away from the messaging of silence is violence and speech is violence, just stop justifying abhorrent, disgusting acts like this? Let me know in the comments, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Again, trying to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, if you do me a favor and leave a comment, additional feedback is always appreciated. Don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.